Good morning, good afternoon. I'm John Brimacombe. I'm the General Manager of IQVIA NLP. On behalf of the whole IQVIA NLP team, I'm delighted to welcome you to our virtual NLP Summit for 2021. And I'm delighted to say this is the largest event that we've ever run. Despite the many challenges posed by COVID-19 over the last year, you find our team in really great heart. And I'm delighted to be able to share with you two sets of things at the summit. The first of those is all the enhancements and improvements that we're making and planning to make to the platform. Delighted to share those with you. But also the critical part of the summit is all the practical use cases, all the practical value being derived from our platform. And I'm delighted at the range of customer presentations that we'll be seeing across the 3 days of this event. I'd like to start by setting some context for our discussions and talking about the three critical voices that we're increasingly trying to listen to with the NLP platform. There's no secret that the successful delivery of healthcare, the journey of medicines and treatments from bench to bedside, is profoundly grounded in words. And every stage of decision taking in the development of a compound, commercialization of a compound, and planning the patient care journey, we are recording the science in words. And as we grow the NLP platform business within IQVIA, we're particularly thinking about three voices represented in those words, in the 80% of scientific content that is unstructured. Let me introduce those three voices to you. The first, no secret to you, is the voice of the science. The amount of unstructured knowledge that represents the sum of our understanding in healthcare and medicine is growing every day. It's impractical for any thought leader to work directly with the entire corpus if they're unassisted. And with the power of the NLP platform, we can increasingly augment the human, and allow the human to maximize the value of the existing scientific record. A second key voice we're listening to is the voice of the clinician. As we've seen the routine deployment of EHR platforms, we can increasingly take the voice of the clinician represented in the unstructured EMR note. We can take that through the NLP platform and use that to directly impact both clinical research and the patient care journey. So that's a second critical voice, the voice of the clinician. The third voice, I think the voice that's been heard even more against the backdrop of COVID, is the voice of the patient. Whether we're enabling telemedicine, whether we're allowing the patient to set their own care journey, participate in their own care journey, particularly through patient forums, direct participation in studies, patient-reported outcomes. Increasingly, we're setting the patient at the heart of the care journey, and we want to be able to listen to them in their own words, particularly as we think about inequality in care delivery. It's becoming clearer and clearer. We need to understand the patient in the round, have a 360-degree view of them and listen to their voice. And that's becoming a critical capability with NLP. I'd also like to take the opportunity to update you on the way we're thinking about the overall IQVIA NLP platform. This is a slide you'll see multiple times across this summit, and it sets out the way we're now thinking about the relationship between three core components. The first of those components is the core NLP engine, the NLP platform that we've spent 20 years building and maintaining as the market leader. This is the flexible, expert-facing tool for directly interacting with a large volume of unstructured content and extracting the maximum scientific and clinical meaning from it. And the core NLP platform, which we develop and update 4 times each year, remains at the heart of what we do at IQVIA NLP. But as we introduced at our summit a year ago, we're increasingly thinking now about how can we take the power of the NLP engine and scale it far beyond the expert user, maximize the decision-taking power, patient benefit from NLP across the enterprise. And so increasingly, we now think of the core NLP in partnership with two key delivery engines. Now, the first of those delivery engines is the NLP Insights Hub. This is something we launched last September and already having enormous market impact. And this allows the NLP to become end-user facing through intuitive dashboards and self-service querying and question answering. It allows the power of the underlying NLP engine to be directly applied in the hands of the end-user scientist, researcher, to bust silos to reveal the value of public data. We're enormously excited about the progress we're making the Insights Hub. And now at the summit, I'm delighted to be formally launching the NLP Data Factory. And this is the ability to take the NLP engine and use it to operationalize the transformation of unstructured data on a high throughput basis to embed NLP within workflows and pipelines to drive downstream value. Now let me tell you more about the IQVIA NLP Data Factory, which we're launching here at the summit. We're very excited about the opportunity for the core NLP to have large-scale organizational impact by being a behind-the-scenes component, which transforms unstructured data at scale on a stream or document-by-document basis and drives downstream data processing and care delivery. So this is NLP as a behind-the-scenes technology, taking documents, taking unstructured records, extracting from them, enriching them, marking them up, tagging them, categorizing them as part of a broader enterprise workflow. Now, this is what we've been doing with the core AMP technology over the past set of years, and we have highly successful enterprise deployments of our AMP workflow technology. What we're trying to do with the NLP Data Factory is to bundle alongside the core AMP workflow the other convenient components which are required for end-to-end document transformation. So that's integrated OCR, the ability to run tight-coupled machine learning models, and the ability to perform pre- and post-transformations of the processed documents and data in order to deliver an overall transformation or extraction as a single organic unit of computing. The data factory will drive multiple missions across the bench to bedside continuum. And I'm really excited about the detailed presentation we'll have on this later in the summit. Let's come back now to the NLP Insights Hub. We announced this back in September last year, and we've had enormous commercial momentum around the Insights Hub. The Insights Hub is an integrated technology, relies on the federated capabilities of the underlying NLP platform to bring together a diverse set of content, be that your own secret private content, your safety reports, your study reports, your licensed real-world data, and to blend that with the best of the public sources kept in the IQVIA cloud, Medline, patents, clinicaltrials.gov, and a growing family of high-value public sources. And what we can do here is combine these public and private sources in an Insights Hub to give the end user a self-service 360-degree view around a problem or a compound. We deliver to them both high-value custom dashboards and analytics, using the power of NLP to surface the hidden value within their data. But also, we can directly tie in self-service question answering, high-value NLP smart queries within the Insights Hub environment. In this way, a small group of users with the core NLP tool can power the self-service searches and needs of a large end-user scientific and clinical community. we're really excited about this proposition. As I say, we're getting substantial momentum behind this, and I'm delighted to have a full session on this within the summit. So let's come back and reflect for a moment on those three voices. And those three voices are voices that we can serve using the NLP platform right along the bench to bedside continuum. NLP, we find, is relevant to augmenting the power of the end user scientist or clinician all the way along this journey. Whether it's the very early stage discovery medicine, bench science, right through the development journey, through clinical trials, and into in-market commercial applications. At each stage, the power of NLP allows these three critical voices to be heard and incorporated. An application I particularly wanted to drill into today and highlight is the increasing and exciting work that we're doing around social determinants of health. Social determinants are becoming increasingly key to understanding the patient in the round. If we don't understand the patient's personal and living circumstances, we're not going to do the best job for them in planning and delivering their care. But what we find is that social determinants are part of the electronic health record that's most likely to be in unstructured form, often incorporated in the nurse's notes. These social determinants of health are going to be increasingly key to understanding patients in the round and mapping the right care journey for them. And we're delighted to find that natural language processing is really strong technology for reaching into the unstructured notes and categorizing the patient's social determinants in order to inform that care journey. This is work we're very delighted to share with you at this event. Let's come back now to these three critical voices: the voice of the patient, the voice of the clinician, and the voice of the science. Starting with the voice of the patient, we're particularly excited about the power of natural language processing to allow us to directly listen to the voice of the patient represented in unstructured sources like social media, patient forums, and other patient-reported outcomes. Also, the potential to listen to the patient in call center notes, in telemedicine, and maybe even in studies where the patient is directly interviewed. Particularly excited about the ability to look for unknown unknowns, to be surprised by what the patient tells us, to develop our knowledge beyond what we're expecting. And this is something that NLP is particularly good at. Let's turn now to the voice of the clinician. The unstructured note, the unstructured clinical note, now incorporated routinely in care practice, remains a hugely undermined resource, underexploited resource with great potential. Increasingly, NLP is the practical technology for taking the unstructured elements of the clinical note and filling in all the missing elements from the structured record to give us that complete 360-degree view of the patient in order to drive research, drive studies, and drive the best possible care journey. So we're really excited about the power of NLP around the voice of the patient and the voice of the clinician. But we're also very excited about all the work that we do to leverage the value of scientific knowledge using the NLP platform. With all the content that we have in the IQVIA cloud, nearly 1 billion unstructured documents available to our clients, with the ability to incorporate your secret, private research data, to compare and contrast that with the public sources, with the ability to look at breaking news in science, leading edge scientific knowledge. Taking the power of NLP, we can bring that all together to augment the human researcher, to augment the clinician, and to give them the maximum real-time context understanding about their area of research, their compounds, their areas of interest. We delighted at this summit to present to you all the work that we're doing to drive forward the core NLP platform, but now to take that NLP platform and to operationalize it at scale through the NLP Insights Hub and the NLP Data Factory. And we're particularly excited to show and share with you all the practical applications in the case studies from our end users. I wish we were able to meet in person, and we very much hope that it'll soon be possible for us to have physical in-person events again. It's really key that the conversations we have with our user community and you have with each other at our events, are the heart of those events. So we've really tried to take every possibility afforded by the online platform to give you the chance to talk to us and to talk to each other. It's those conversations that particularly matter and we particularly value. Thank you for attending. I wish you a really productive and informative summit.